What's up, guys? Keyshawn Uchiha here. You know, the one, the only, the clown. Maybe not, sometimes. But, anyways, enough all those titles. What's up? This is going to be kind of a new episode. This is going to be the Bizarre Mix. Or you could say, this Bizarre Episode 1. Now, what is this about? This is basically about to be my bizarre, or how can I say this? This is basically going to be my high episode or my high series of me being high, basically combining stupid, crazy ideas and pretty much ideas that seems like it's terrible, but it really works together somehow. But anyways, this is going to be Bizarre episode 1 or part 1, and we're going to basically talk about it. Now, what is this basically going to be about? What is this basically going to be about? Well, this is basically going to be, what if, how can I say, what if Naruto universe, or should I say Naruto, was a little bit more high tech in the future, or a little bit higher and more crazy, you could say. As you see paintings of Naruto wearing future tech or like Gucci outfits and Nikes and all that stuff, and still have the ninjas set up and stuff and all that. We're going to make it a little bit higher in the future. We're going to basically put like, what if Naruto was in higher in the future? Everything might be the same, some might be different, some might not, but let's see how it's going to be. So how are we going to start this off? Well, we're going to start off with basically with Madara and Harashima are basically being kids. Now, I'm going to be there because why not? This is crazy. So we're basically throwing fucking plot out the window and just making it out crazy. Now, this is where, of course, I will be sitting with them as a kid too, just to convince them that I'm just like them too. And sorry guys, my brain went a little bit out of point. Let me just get to this video. So basically, yeah, I'm basically as a kid with Kid Mater and Kid Harashima before they got the development, and we're just gonna. I'm basically sitting with them and they're talking, and basically what their dreams and ideas and goals and stuff. Harshimar basically saying he wants to have peace around the whole world and stuff, and basically, want to make something. Which Martyr, he just wants to carry the same dream stuff, and we're just going to do a time skip. Now, this is where everything happens the same, but pretty much it's a little bit high tech more in the future, as we're just going to say a certain scientist, which I created, to basically brought the shinobi a little bit closer to a future, kind of like the background you're seeing right now with high tech armor and stuff. But they still have the same ninjutsu the same. So it's kind of like one step into the future, but another foot back, with the still keeping the same ninjutsu and stuff. No, they won't have the gear thing that shoots Rasengan and stuff like Boruto has, but they will be a little bit up step in the future, a little bit higher. A little bit higher up step in the future, but they will still be doing the wall walking and all that stuff. And no, they won't have cars. But we're going to get to that, but they won't have cars yet. This is where, of course, how can I say? Of course, this is where I'm going to be with Madara because, like I said, I'm a Uchiha. Well, an alien Uchiha, if you want to say. But pretty much, I'm with Madara, and his brother haven't died yet, still alive, so didn't have a dead brother yet. And I'm pretty much talking to Madara and his brother. And we're basically in the war stage where, the Senju and the Uchihas are at war. Now this is where I'm talking to Madara, and basically he's talking to me and saying what's the plan. This is where I look at him and smile and says, well, Madara, if you want to know what's the plan, first we need to get you prepared. Which the Uchihas are saying, what are you talking about? We hardly have enough funds to get that armor, like the Senjus and stuff has. Which, we're going to say the Senju was a little bit higher in the money in the forge to buy the high-tech armor from the scientists. Which I pretty much say, oh, calm down. I knew the Uchiha would be out of funds, so that's why I did some couple of work and some dirty work to get us some money. Which Madara says, what did you do? Which I basically look at him and smiles and says, well, I basically had to give up a arm and leg. You get what I'm saying? Which basically I look at the ladies, and the ladies, I have a whole 3 fan group of girls and they pass out. Which I basically have all the armor for the Uchihas and stuff. Which I basically saying we might be losing the edge on a couple of battlefields, but we have this time the upper edge, which I pretty much give Madara his armor and basically give him his legendary fan and weapons, which I pretty much say these weapons are for you, and this weapon is for you. Which he says, what is this? Which I pretty much tell him this is a weapon that pretty much focused on chakras, and since Madara's brother, which is going to say that, basically has a high chakra control, as his chakra control is right on point, as he can create chakra weapons. But it takes a lot of chakra, so I made him a weapon where he can kind of make as a chakra lightsaber, you could say. This is where he focuses chakra, and it basically doesn't take all his chakra, and he basically made a chakra weapon, which he says, "Wow, this is amazing." Which he thanks me, which I say it's no problem. Now, this is where we're gonna have at the battlefield, and Madara is pretty much doing the same thing as Ken, fighting with Orochimaru with his, his Senjutsu, and all the Uchihas are saying, "Oh my God, this is amazing" and stuff, like talking about the battlefield. This is where, of course, I join in. Madara basically falls back because he's out of chakra, and he's pretty much low, and he's taking heavy breathers and stuff, which Orochimaru is saying, "Give up." This is where I appear, and I say, "Huh, Madara, never think of the Uchi as not that powerful. We are powerful." Which this is where I close my eyes and I reopen it, putting my hands together and basically saying, "Now you're gonna have to face my true power." Which I show him my Galaxy Rinnegan, which all the Uchihas are shocked and saying, "What is this power that they feel?" And I pretty much put my hands, pretty much lift my one hand up and I say, "What must comes up must come down," and I throw down 1,000 star meteors things. You could say stars, shooting stars blasts, which is start hitting all the ninjas that is there. I don't kill them because I'm not gonna kill yet, and I pretty much hit them all down. Which Parshmar and his he using all his chakra to pretty much defend all the ninjas and stuff that's getting hit by it, and he can't hardly cover himself, so he's getting hit by it too. And the battlefield, all you see in the battlefield is a couple of like their ninjas are down and hurt and pretty much bruised up. And I pretty much says, y'all better return, or I might have to do a second wave of them, which they pretty much do a retreat. This is where the Uchihas are celebrating and stuff and all that. And my setup, I look like a samurai. Well, you could say like think of the Sasuke attire with the whole kind of with the samurai robes, but have the Uchiha symbol. But yeah, like that. Well, kind of like a mercenary, you could say. And everybody's cheering and stuff. And of course, I'm just saying, that's a little bit of a waste of power to be a showing off. That wasn't even my full percent power, which they're all shocked saying, "You wasn't going all out." Which I says, "No, I was just being a show off. Let's just go before they know that I was just being a show off." Which they all laugh. Now, this is where we do another skip, and I'm gonna say this is where we reach to alignment and stuff. And I already, helped out the Uchihas with getting them up to like robot horses, animal machine robot horse. Because I'm gonna say there was a scourge of a virus, but it wasn't a deadly virus. It's a virus that turned animals into half machines and stuff. Kind of like think about that wooden dragon from behind. It's like that, but animals start kind of think of it like the SCP Clockwork virus, but it's not like, oh, they're gonna be like full machines, but they're like half their they're gonna basically be like half robot, half machine, like half animal, half machine kind of way. But they have like, but they still gonna be animals. Think of it like that. Now, this is where we're at the part when they're shaking hands, and basically the Leaf Village is getting formed and made. Now, since Monitor Brothers were alive and stuff, but we're gonna get to the scene with the Uchiha template. Now, Monitor sees it with his Sharingan. His brother can see it too. Of course, I can see it, and I say, "Huh, look like someone tempered with it." Which Monitor is shocked and saying, "You're here?" Which I pretty much says, "Yeah, but this is tempered, Monitor. Someone tempered this. It's the Black Zetsu." Which Monitor looks and says, "What, the Black Zetsu?" Which I pretty much explains to him what happened and stuff, and I basically show him his future, the possible future of him bringing the chaos to the world and getting played like a puppet, which he pretty much says him, and he begins to form his Megekyo Sharingan. This is where I tell him to calm down. And I basically tell him that we will get him, but we're gonna have to follow through the plans as original canon. We're gonna have to follow the plans and bring to that point to get him, to bring him out this shadow light. This is where, of course, Madara agrees, and he's gonna do the same thing in canon, but he's not going to initiate the whole Nine Tails and fighting that. That arc won't happen, but Madara will be going in the hiding curtains and stuff. You could say. So everything will still happen as the same, but a little bit not the same. But let's just keep going. So basically, after Madara and Madara's brother agrees, I basically leave and we leave, and then we leave it to that. Now, this is where Madara passed away. Not Madara passed away as in original, but not as like fighting with Harashima, but he basically leaves the village. Well, he doesn't leave the village, but he basically gets old and stuff. He's basically getting old, and Harashima is still alive, so they both basically grow old and stuff. They don't die in the battlefield or nothing like that, but basically, Madara was basically made as a legendary, as he was the second Hokage right's man, and he became Hokage. So it's like Harashima was the first Hokage, Madara was the second Hokage, Tobirama was third Hokage, because and Tobirama does have the student, but his outlook on the Uchiha is a little bit different since Madara didn't do none of that shit, so it's much different. And he becomes third Hokage, and so far so forth. And Hiruzen becomes the fourth. Now it's Minato. Now we're going to basically do a time skip, and we're gonna get to the attack, the Nine Tails attack, you could say. And like I said, things is still gonna be the same, but a little bit different because Madara is still gonna do the same thing, but people won't know it's him because Madara really didn't do that shit, and he was the second Hokage, so no one won't believe him. But people are going to know it's going to be a different guy, but it's still going to be the same. But let's just continue. Pretty much after that, this is where the whole attack happens and stuff, and this is where I is basically just sitting and waiting for it to happen, saying, and now. And that's when the Nine Tails attack happened. Now, Minato is fighting with Obito as originally canon. But Obito already knows what's the true plan, but he's just following along. And pretty much he does the same thing as the canon stuff. And I told him that I will bring back Rin, but he has to, get to this part where we're going to the part. Now, this is where I was just canon. He's fighting with Obito and stuff, and not fighting with Obito, fighting with Minato. And I pretty much just looking and saying, okay. Now, this is where, of course, the Nine Tails happens again, and all that goes. And this is where Minato doesn't have enough chakra, and he basically hits the ground and passes out. Now, of course, this is where Kushina, she's, out of chakra too, and she can't hardly do anything. And Naruto is on her hand, crying. This is where Minato says, I can't give up now, and he's trying to get up, which I pretty much just tell him to just sit right there and relax. Where he says, who are you? Which I am in history, but only the Uchiha has full history about me, of Kishan Uchiha, the one, the legendary god, the legendary Uchiha god, the one that helped Madara and his brother to victory, and formed Hafta, and was the third triangle that formed the Leaf Village and made it what it is with technology and stuff. So this is where I basically, let me just go back to the story now. Well, this is where I basically goes back and I shoot him in the neck, basically restoring his chakra, but it passes it out. And he's pretty much saying, "What did you do?" Which I pretty much say, "Oh, calm down, so I just gave you a chakra boost, but you will be out. So I'll take care of this." Now, this is where I look at the Nine Tails, and I basically do the Genjutsu and put him to sleep, which Nighttails begins to stop going crazy and goes to the ground and falls asleep. Which I pretty much say, alright, now it's time to get started. Now this is where Kushina looks at me and she's out of chakra, which I begin to heal her wound and basically give her all the chakra back that got taken away from her, and she's basically completely healed. Now, this is where I start to look and say, what should I do? And I say, oh well, I guess I just make you become the full Nine Tails Naruto, which Kushina can't do anything because, I basically put her to sleep too. And I basically fuse the Nine Tails with Naruto. So Naruto will basically be fused with the Nine Tails. And I begin to say, nice. Very well done. And I begin to see that Naruto is the next reincarnation of Ashura. So I say, nice. Alright. And I begin to take Minato and put him together with Kushina, and basically they're all together. And I begin to leave. Now, as I leave, you could say teleport out of there. I'll go back to the Uchiha. Go back to Uchiha hideout. Because Uchihas still have hideouts and stuff. That's still in contact with the Uchihas because there's not a lot of Uchihas didn't die, so there's a lot more Uchihas than it should be as in canon. So yeah, there's a lot more Uchihas. And Senju and Uzumaki's. Yes, Uzumaki's are in this too. They didn't disappear, they're in this too. And I begin to head to one of the Uchiha hideouts. This is where one of the scientist Uchiha girls says, "Oh, welcome back, Lord Kishan," which I begin to say, please don't call me that. Anyways, where's the couch? I need to sleep. But she says, oh, right here. Why did I pretty much sit down and sleep? Now, this is where Minato wakes up and pretty much he, feels much better and stuff. Feels a little bit more stronger as he originally can. Feels like he got a more chakra boost. And Kushina, which they look at Naruto. And Naruto has fox ears and the Nine Tails fox tails, which, like I said, I fuse them together. Now, Naruto will have Kurama memories, and he will also have his own memories. He will have his own memories, but he will have the Nine Tails memories. And the Nine Tails will be his caution thought. So he will be there still, but not. It will be confusing. But let's discontinue. Now, this is where we do a time skip, and we have a 5-year-old Naruto. Now, this Naruto is basically is fused with Nine Tails Kurama. So he is extremely intelligent and knows everything, including about the Sage's Sixth Path, because it's kind of as that's his real father figure. He really treats the Sage's Sixth Path more as a father figure than Minato, but he treats him as a father figure too, kind of. But pretty much, this is where Naruto is basically, intelligent stuff, chakra, good, very good with his chakra. He has 100% pure access to his chakra, so he has pure chakra control, and he's pretty much, can shoot out tail beast bombs out his mouth, or he can, create a tail beast bomb Rasengan at an early age, which he knows how to do that. Pretty crazy, right? But pretty much, this is where the same as original canon as this is where Hina's getting bullied with the Nine Tails. I mean, no, not getting bullied by Nine Tails. She's getting bullied because I'm gonna say Hinata is the Three Tails Jinchuriki because Hinata basically basically Hinata is the Three Tails Jinchuriki and ever since the Nine Tails attack, if you're a Jinchuriki, it's a little bit different as they respect you, but they will be they will just how can I say it? The people do cherish their Jinchurikis, but some hate the Jinchurikis due to that attack. So it's going to be some people who's going to be attacking the Jinchurikis if they have a chance to. That because of the hatred they have built in their heart. But pretty much this is where Naruto comes in and basically tells them to leave her alone, and they basically start running because they know who Naruto is. That's the Hokage's son, you could say, and pretty much they start running. Now this is where Naruto picks her up. Well, not picks her up. Actually, yeah. We're gonna say he smoothly leaves, and he picks up and asks if she's right. This is where, of course, she's blushing real hard and she says, yeah, and she pass out. And this is where Naruto takes her back to the Hyuga compound. And the Hyugas are really, cool with Minato and Uchiha, so they pretty much, you could say, look up to, well, not really look up. Well, yeah, you could say look up to Minato a little bit, but pretty much they're pretty much thanking Naruto, and Naruto gets back to his house. Now, Minato will look a little bit different in this arc. Will look a little bit different as he is the grandson, or not grandson, but the son of Madara. Now, I know what you're thinking. The son of Madara. That seems a little bit not right. No, he is, and we're just gonna make Madara a little bit different in the age thing. So, yeah, but pretty much Minato is Madara's son. Now, this is where Naruto basically says hi to his dad, and his dad says hi, and Minato asks how was his day, and Naruto says he's good. Now, this is where we do another time skip, and we got a 10-year-old Naruto. Now, this is where, of course, I appear again, basically in front of Naruto, while Naruto's basically is training or fighting with Sasuke, because Sasuke and Naruto are good friends and also rivals. Because Minato is a Uchiha, he is Uchiha, so that's why the Uchiha, respect Minato and also look up to him, because he's the first. Well, he's the second Uchiha that is a Hokage, because, like I said, Madara is the second Hokage, and he also established the rule, which Hiroshima and Madara also established the rule that all tail beasts will be kept in the leaf, but some tail beasts will be given to another village. So the only tail beast that the leaf has is pretty much the six tails, the three tails, and that's it. That's the only tail beast they have. Now the rest of the tail beasts went to other villages that was worthy of it, which the first tail went to the sand village because the leaf wanted to make buddy buddy with the sand village, which they did, and eight tails went to the cloud, two tails went to cloud too, so the cloud has two tail beasts, and the seven tail went to the hidden earth village because the leaf village wanted to have allies and not to be feared, because Hiroshima didn't want that, and Madara agreed with him, and also so that's why. Now the four tails pretty much is with the earth village, and that's it. No other village got other tail beasts because they're not worthy of it. Now, after all of that, sorry about that, guys, but let's continue. Pretty much, this is where, uh, this is where, So the four tails is basically with the hidden earth. So yeah, basically those are all the tail beasts where they all at now. No other village got any other tail beasts. And yeah, but let's continue. Pretty much, after that, after all that, pretty much this is where we have a 10-year-old Naruto pretty much fighting with Sasuke, and it's pretty much be like a tied match. Sometimes it be tied, and sometimes it doesn't be tied. Like Naruto is in the lead, so but he's gonna be in the lead now. Let's continue. Well, Naruto's pretty much sparring, training, and stuff. I'm pretty much at the training, sitting down, looking at Naruto fight with Sasuke, and Naruto can tell, he can sense my presence. No one else can do it. No one else can sense his presence, but sense my presence, but Naruto, and he knows that I'm looking at him. And pretty much this is where Naruto begins to get serious because he wants to impress me because I'm kind of his master trainer. I'm his trainer. And he begins to whoop Sasuke ass. Now, after Sasuke says, damn it, which Naruto says, look like I'm ahead, which Sasuke says, I get you next time. And they basically, Naruto picks him up, and Naruto does have long black hair, like Madara's, because why not? And and he's the opposite. So it's kind of reversed now. So Naruto is like the reincarnation of the moon one. He will have the moon mark, and Sasuke is basically a different one. Now, this is where, as original canon, um, well, not original canon. This is where Naruto picks up Sasuke, and they're basically, smiling and laughing. Now, the cute girl fan base is divided in two groups. Is one is for Naruto and one is for Sasuke because, they're both too goddamn gorgeous and they're Uchihas. So, and we all know Uchihas get the bitches. You know what I'm saying? But let me stop. Pretty much, this is where Naruto is basically walking until he almost falls, and he accidentally activates the Senju DNA, which we're gonna say the Uchihas have been mingling with Senjus, with female Senjus, who has the chances to be having with style. And he acts. And Kushina is one of those half Uzumakis and half Senjus, so she does have the chakra chains, but she didn't really unlock the wood thing. But Naruto did. So he accidentally, catches himself with the wood thing, and he accidentally activated as as Sasuke and him was walking. This is where Naruto is saying, "Huh, what the hell is this?" Which this is where Minato. This is where I'm gonna say I look and I'm pretty much opening up my eyes and saying, "Ooh, I didn't know that would happen." I pretty much come down and say, "Are you alright, Naruto? Look like you have the Senju DNA." Which Naruto says, "Senju what?" Which I begin to explain what is the Senju DNA and stuff, and how is the Senju DNA and stuff. Now, this is where Naruto basically gets what the understanding of Senju and what he can do. He begins to say, "So I'm a Uchiha slash Senju," which I begin to say, yeah. And the Uchiha and Senju do have a history of work together, but since over the years past, Uchiha and Senju were pretty much close together, and the Senju and Uchiha clan, they kind of merged together. So now they're Uchiha Senju together, and they have a one single group compound together. As they're still part of Leaf, like they're part of Leaf, but they have their own compound. So it's like a Uchiha slash Senju. So no one can really assassinate them, destroy them. They're like pretty much dangerous, and they can't separate and go to other villagers because they're pretty fucking dangerous together. So yeah. But let's continue. Pretty much this is where Naruto realized he has the Senju DNA. He's like, wow. And this is where Minato appeared, and I pretty much say, oop. And I forgot that, Minato did put a bounty or a secret mission to hunt me down. And this is where Minato tells Naruto to step away from me. And also Sasuke, which they basically try to figure out what the hell's going on. And this is where Ambu ninjas all around me get to do the Senju binding, the bind me. I'm like pretty much wrapped up, and I'm like saying, "Is this necessary? Not in front of them. Come on, Minato, come on." Which I'm basically saying, this is when Minato says, "Huh," which I pretty much say, "Sorry, Naruto. I should have told you that me and your father is kind of on a different term. He don't trust me." Which pretty much he tells his Amu members, which Donzo is a same as in canon, but not as whole. I want Uchiha eyes and stuff. He's basically he basically messed around with his own DNA, so he is a Uchiha. That's why his hair is brown and black because he's been messing with DNA, which pretty much he's a scientist in this, but he does still have the Amu thing and stuff, and he's loyal to the Leaf, but he will becoming Hokage. He will be Hokage. Now I know what y'all guys thinking. Hokage? Danzo? Oh, this must be a really fucking bizarre one. If you're making Danzo Hokage, yes. He will become Hokage in this. And how can I tell you? There's two Hokages in this. So, the law had been changed. So, now it could be two Hokages. And the two Hokages now in the leadership is right now is Minato and Fugaku. So, the Nine Tails attack was more a little bit calmed down because the Uchihas and Sinjas was helping and holding down the Nine Tails. So that's why you know Fugaku and Minato are two Hokages now. So that's why the statue things has more people because now it's two Hokages. So instead of one Hokage, there's two Hokages. So it's Fugaku and Minato, and they both share office together. So it's quite crazy. But pretty much, this is where Minato looking all good, and their outfits, like the ninjas' outfits, are more comforts are different. As how can I say this? You know how y'all see those like Naruto wearing like cool Nike outfits and stuff, or like those cool outfits um with the bandage, like kind of with the spandex and stuff and all that, and the shoes and all that. That's what the ninjas look like. They look fresh, but it's also armor. It's also armor, so they have some plating and stuff by the side and like bandages. So they still look like ninjas, but they have fresh outfits, you could say. Now, this is where Minato is telling, them to step away, and Naruto steps forward, basically, showing his ears, showing his slit eyes, and having his tail saying, no, he did nothing wrong and stuff. And basically says to, like, if it wasn't for him who gave me this gift and making me like this, I wouldn't, basically be who I am today, which he's basically talking about the Nine Tails attack and stuff and how I was there because I told Naruto that. Now Minato, of course, stops, but he says I still want to like question him and stuff. And pretty much the Abo ninjas take me and pretty begins to take me to the questioning or the holding thing. Which I'd be like, hey, watch the suit, watch the samurai outfit, which I basically telling them to watch out for my Komoto. Now, this is where Naruto is a little bit concerned for me, but he knows I'll be alright. And he begins to go home with Naruto. Well, with Sasuke. Now, this is where, of course, I'm getting questioned. Minato is there questioning me and stuff. Now, this is where another ninja is, using the mind transferring jutsu and trying to see what's in my head. And when he does the mind transferring jutsu in my head, I begins to basically, get him into my escape. Well, he's in my mindscape looking around through memories. I pretty much is there just sitting with a chair saying, oh, hey, so you're trying to be in my mind. Well, welcome to my mind. Which I begin to snap my finger and everything bizarre is crazy. As it just starts turning into a whole different mindscape and playing field. Kind of like a second world in my mind. Now, this is where I begin to say, come on in. Come in my shot of memories. So what you want to see? What you want to know? This or that? And he begins to be all confused and say, what the? How do you have pure control here? And how do you know I'm in your mindscape? Which I pretty much say, yeah, I know about your clan and how y'all can use the mind jutsu and all that. But what you want to know? I got all the files right here, which I begin to show him the files that he wants to know. This is where he comes back to his body. He says he's not no traitor or anything, but he is something more, a god. Which Minato was shocked to say, a god. And he said he was pretty much there with Madara and Orochimaru when they was kids, and also he's the third legend, or should I say, one of the powerful Uchiha gods that the Uchi speaks about for the secret and just dare not to speak about it. Which Minato knows what he's talking about and saying. So you're the third one, Kishan Uchiha, which I begin to activate my Britomui Galaxy Sharingan. This is the one and only. Now, this is where Minato let me go and says, how am I still alive and stuff, and why is his father, and how did I pretty much became friends with his father and stuff. This is when I get into explain to what's the true plan. Well, not the true plan. Actually, yeah. This is where I explain the true plan and what is going to happen and stuff. And Minato understand what is the true plan because his father was talking about it too and told him that due time will come. I begin to explain that this is where I explain that due time, and I pretty much tell does he still have his father weapons, which Minato says of course, and he shows that Madara's legendary fan and stuff, and also Orochimaru weapons, and I say, nice, it's almost time. Which this is where I pretty much do my things, and I pretty much say that I'm gonna bring back the first Hokage, Tomirama, which Lady Tsunade is still in the village. She didn't leave the village or anything. She doesn't like she is the same as herself in canon, but a little bit more different as she knows the true plan because her father told her that he will be brought back by me. So Lady Tsunade was just staying there for that, and her brother's not dead in this. So yeah, pretty much this is where I go in. I pretty much go up and go to Naruto. Now, this is where Naruto basically sees me. He says, "Ah, Master Kishan," which I say, "Sup, Naruto?" And I pretty much take a knee and tell him something. I pretty much give him, you know, a training scroll, and I tell him that I'm gonna be gone for a while, and that he needs to get more stronger so I can see him in action when we next time we fight. Which he says, okay. Now I pretty much go, pretty much walking slowly and going, saying, "Ugh, this is gonna be a pain in my ass," and I start to head. Now I pretty much teleport back to the lab and say, "Are they ready?" Which pretty much they say, "Right here, sir." And she shows me that there's the two same bodies of the first Hokage and second Hokage. Well, you could say the first and third Hokage, Orochimaru thing, which Madara, he wants to be brought back when it's the right time. Which I told him, alright. Because Madara right now is training in the Galaxy Hall right now with his Rinnegan, which I left him there so he can start getting training, so he can get a head start in front of Orochimaru and Tomirama. So yeah, now this is where he is training and stuff, and he's taking the knee saying, and his brother is there too, basically saying, well, you could say his brother's there, basically just watching, saying, huh. So, are you ready to give up, brother? Which Madara, he gets up and he pretty much have weapon, pretty much getting up, and he pretty much have his rib cage showing. And he says, "I'm not nearly done yet," and his Rinnegan is active. So, yeah, and he continue his training. Now this is where I'll see. All right, it's almost time. Now this is where we switch back to. Well, yeah, this is where I switch back to Naruto, and Naruto is basically going to do the same thing as Canon. We're going to just go with the whole scroll thing. Now, of course, this is where Mitsuki tricks Naruto, basically saying that he will pass him because he made Naruto fail on purpose, and he basically said he will help him if he basically gets the scroll. Now, oh shit, sorry guys, I'm just getting higher and higher, so sorry, but pretty much this is where Naruto agrees, but he knows it's a trap because Naruto's not stupid, and he basically just goes. Now, this is where Naruto grabs the scroll, and he already tells his father about it, and his father completely let him do it because he knows that he can beat Mitsuki, and he intends to start going. Now, this is where as he's going, uh, this is where, how can I say this? This is where, shit, well, yeah, this is where Naruto is waiting for Mitsuki to come in, but this is where Naruto gets curious and he looks at the scroll. Now he will still learn the multi shot clone jutsu as in canon, but he also learns wind armor. He also will learn wind armor, so wind style armor. So yeah, he'll learn the multi shot clone jutsu and wind style armor. He's not gonna learn the fire Raijin. I'm not gonna keep making it as the same thing. It might be different sometimes, so this is a different one. But yeah, let's continue. Pretty much this is where Naruto basically says, interesting. And he sees some other jutsus, but he writes them down and basically put them in his pocket. Now this is where Aruka comes in. As with original canon saying, Naruto, what you doing here with the scroll, sealing scroll, which Naruto says shit. this is not supposed to happen. And Mitsuki makes his move and attacks Aruka Sensei. Now, this is where Naruto basically takes Aruka and puts Aruka into hiding. Now, Mitsuki is, looking for them and, well, basically yelling, saying, "What's wrong, Naruto? You afraid?" And basically, Naruto's not afraid. He's just basically, taking out the wound and healing Aruka Sensei, because we're gonna say he knows some healing ninjutsus because he wanted to be a healer a little bit of a support team. And this is where, you know, Mitsuki starts calling out Naruto the Nine-Tailed Cherokee Fox and basically telling him who he is and stuff. And Naruto already knows this, so Naruto's not gonna get shocked or anything or get scared. But this is where Naruto starts to get pissed off, because this is where Mitsuki starts saying in the Uchiha Senju, or he just start talking shit about clans and shit. Now this is where Naruto gets mad and he starts saying, no one starts talking about the leaf and stuff like this, and he does the same thing as Rizzo and Kenny, the Mochi Shaolin Jutsu. But this is where he starts getting angry and he forms the small Biju bombs, but it's not gonna kill Ruka, but it is gonna do a lot of damage to him. And all the Mochi Shaolin do the same thing and shoot him with it, and it makes a big explosion. But it doesn't kill him, because Naruto didn't want to kill him. He just wanted to really hurt him. And he gets fucked up. Now, this is where Aruka thanks Naruto and basically gives him the headband as a Rizzo Cannon. Now, this is where Naruto basically waiting in class with Sasuke. And Sasuke and Naruto is basically, like I said, bros, but more as brothers, you could say. And they're pretty much waiting now. As they're waiting, all the teams get assignments the same as their canon, but instead of Sakura being in Team 7, we're just gonna make Sakura dead last so we can make it work. Actually, nah. We're just gonna make Hinata dead last. Nah. We just make her third and Sakura dead last, so we can make it work. And pretty much the teams are gonna be of Team 7 will be Sasuke, Naruto, and Sakura. Now, this is where, how can I say this? This is where Sakura is saying no. She wanted to be on team with Sasuke and Sasuke and Naruto because, well, she has a crush on both of them a little bit, but pretty much that's not gonna happen. And pretty much, actually no, let's just make it different. Let's mix it up a little bit. It's gonna be Sasuke, Naruto, Sakura, and Hinata, because Sakura has something that y'all guys are a little bit might get mad or maybe not. It all depends to y'all. But pretty much, this is where Sakura is being excited that she's on the same team with Sasuke and Naruto. Now, this is where, as they're waiting, Naruto is basically knows that Kakashi's taking forever because Naruto knows Kakashi, because Kakashi is, well, how can I say this? Is, you could say, a family member. Well, not as a family member, but kind of as a mentor a little bit, because he'd been training with Naruto for a while. Now, this is where, as Kakashi's coming in, this is where Naruto's hiding and preparing his sneak attack, which this is where Kakashi can sense Naruto, and he knows that he's right there, and he says, I'll play your game. And he basically says, wait, ain't there supposed to be another student? Which Naruto says, you're late, and kind of goes for a kick, which Kakashi catches and says, always trying to sneak attack me, Naruto, but that's not gonna work. You know that. Which Naruto smiles and says, Kakashi Sensei, which Kakashi says, Naruto. Now, this is where Naruto explains that, Kakashi explains that Naruto is one of his pupil, which Sasuke is a little bit shocked and a little bit jealous because he has he is, a student of one of the legendary ninjas, because we're gonna say Kakashi is a legendary ninja, the copycat ninja, and everybody knows about him, and begins to get a little bit jealous. Now, of course, this is where Kakashi looks at the team and says, quite an interesting team. Which he looks at Sakura and thinks that, why is she on the team? Because Sakura, she's a not strong, but you're gonna know what she is, basically. Now, this is where everybody meets up on the rooftop, and this is where everybody's is the same, except for Sasuke. His is a little bit different, as he wants to find his brother and figure out why he basically betrayed the Leaf Village. Now I know what y'all thinking. Betraying the Leaf Village? What do you mean? Kakashi. Now Itachi, he didn't kill the Leaf. He didn't kill no ninjas. He didn't kill no Uchihas or something. None of that. No, he didn't do none of that because Danzo didn't order that, and Obito, he wasn't really. He didn't really do the same thing as a canon. It was only just. It was only just. Itachi left because Minato needed a spy because there was a new group. There was a new group doing shit and attacking Ten Cherokees and capturing them. Now, the Akatsuki, I should probably said this. The Akatsuki, they're not killing they're not extracting the Cherokees and like killing them. No, they're only taking some of the Cherokees thing, and basically this how can I say, they're extracting some of the Uchihas, like, no, not some of the Uchihas, some of the Cherokees power. Like, yeah, they're attracting some of the Cherokees chakra, and then they just throw out the Cherokees, not killing them but badly injuring them. So the Cherokees are still alive. Some are like, all the Cherokees are still alive, but they are getting captured and getting attracting of some of their Cherokee chakra and just getting thrown out. So the Koski is not killing them. They just need their Cherokee chakra, some of it. They don't need a lot of it. They just need some of it for a reason. Now, this is where Minato ordered Itachi to become a rogue ninja to basically figure out what is the Akatsuki true plan, which Itachi agreed upon and basically did what he was told for the Leaf Village. Now, this is where, you know, Fukaku also did a tear and hugged his son, and he told his family he loved them, and basically went off. And also his wife, because he is married, and he also has a child coming in the way. But he pretty much went going. Now, Sasuke basically says he wants to find a certain someone, and also also want to know why he did it. Well, basically he basically want to capture a certain someone, and that's Itachi. Now, Hinata's basically the same, but she wants to become the next leader of the Hyuga, and she wants to get strong. Basically, wants to be strong and, be there for a certain someone, which she basically is looking at Naruto, and Naruto knows this, and he basically does a little blush. Now, and basically Sasuke teases her and tease him, saying, "Oh, I didn't know you get the ladies, Naruto," which Naruto says, "Shut up." Now, Sakura, basically hers is a little bit different, as her likes is basically blowing bubbles and stuff. Now I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute. It sounds like she's a little bit not intelligent. No, she is. She is. But her weird likes is to blow bubbles. Now I know what y'all thinking. Does she have the six tails Cherokee, the slime one? Yes, she does. She's a six tails Cherokee, but she doesn't know it because, you know, the Cherokees had to go into hiding because, how can I say, they had to go into hiding because, like I said, some of the villagers do want to kill the Cherokees because they don't like them. Some of the villagers, but not all. But she basically says her likes is the blow bubbles, which she has a thing, and she basically starts blowing unique bubbles, which they can transform into to animals and stuff, and also to like swordsmen and stuff, which, and they basically have like kind of like a size of a human, so, and they're indestructible. So if someone attack them, they take damage, and if they try to do something, they can't really It's pretty much an offense and defense, you could say, kind of like the Bubble Boy, or you could say the guy who is the 6,000 Cherokee. And she basically says she likes to blow bubbles. Basically, she likes to, do her thing, and she wants to be strong for her son, someone, and get his recognition, which she's looking at. Well, she's looking at Sasuke and blushing and giggling and stuff. Which Naruto smiles and says, "Wow, wow, Sasuke, I didn't know you like to. I didn't know you can get a girl with a big forehead." Which Sasuke, he do blushes a little because he has a liking to Sakura. He does have a liking to Sakura, but not as like. Well, yeah, he does like Sakura, but he try to hide his emotions a little bit. And Sasuke blushes and tells him to shut up. And basically Sakura said, "Did you just call me a big forehead?" Which Naruto says, "Well, yeah." Which this is where Naruto says, "Well, he's sorry for calling her a big forehead, but she does have a big forehead." And he basically says, "Don't big forehead means you're intelligent," which she basically says, "Oh," and she blushes a little bit and says, "Oh, thank you." Which Naruto pulled the fast one on her. But pretty much this is where Naruto says his dreams, and he says he wants to become Hokage and bring all nations together. Believe it. Which Kakashi smiles and says, "All right, well tomorrow's gonna be the bell test. Don't eat or you're gonna puke." And basically start going. Now everybody's going home and stuff. This is where we're gonna start with Sasuke, and Sasuke pretty much went home, and his father pretty much says, "Ah, son, you're here." Which Sasuke says, "Father," which this is where he says, "Sasuke, I got a gift for you." Here, which this is where Nard, this is where Sasuke opens up the gift, and he sees that it's one of the legendary ninjas' weapon, which it's Madara's brother's weapon that can basically do fuse with chakra. Well, you can fuse with chakra to basically make a lightsaber or any weapon of your choosing if you know how to master your chakra 100% pure. Like pure 100% knows how to control it. Now, this is where Sasuke says it. It says, "Is this?" Which he says, "Yes. Happy birthday." Which we're gonna say this is, well, not a birthday gift, not a happy birthday gift, more like a gift for him, for making it. This is where Sasuke tested it out and fused his chakra together with it, and he basically forms the blade, and he begins to test it out and says, "Thank you, Father." Which he says anytime. Yeah, this is sorry guys. My sister just opened up my door like an elephant, but let's continue. Pretty much this is where Sasuke thanks his father, and his father says, "You're welcome." Now, this is where we switch to Sakura, and Sakura pretty much gets called in the Hokage office, and basically Fukaku and Minato is basically waiting for her. And Sakura asks, "Did you call me, Lord?" We're gonna say Lord. Uh, yeah, Lord Fifth, Lord, yeah, Lord Fifth. No, yeah, no, Lord Fifth and Sixth because yeah, and basically Fukaku with his face begins to make a smile and says, "Sakura, we wanted to tell you something important because we told your family to keep a secret about, but you are the six-tailed Cherokee, which she's in all eyes saying, I am the six-tailed Cherokee," which basically this is where they start explaining that they put her on the team because basically her and Hinata is Cherokees, and basically they are here. Well, they're basically meant to be with Naruto, so he doesn't have to be alone, and he doesn't have to feel like he's the only Cherokee. Which this is where Sakura is a little bit conflicted because that's why she feel like all those years that all those people was giving her the eye down and stuff. Yeah, she was getting stared down and thought that she was like some type of freak. Nah, it was because she was a Cherokee. But this is where they say she will be training with Naruto to get Cherokee. Well, to basically get Cherokee training with Kakashi because we're gonna say Kakashi is the Cherokee trainer to know how to do Cherokee training, but she's gonna only get a little bit Cherokee training. Actually, yeah. only like training from Kakashi, but she will get training from Jiraiya because Jiraiya is the more, hands down of Cherokee training. Which actually no, we're gonna say Killer B. We're gonna say Killer B. Fuck it, we're gonna say Killer B is going to give him, Cherokee training. Which this is where Sakura's, smiling because she's happy that she's a Cherokee. Now she knows who she is now. Now this is where we're going to go with Naruto. And Naruto basically is in his house and he's basically practicing stuff. This is where I appear to say, Naruto, I want to give you something. Which Naruto says, what is it? And I pretty much give him these chakra blades, these chakra knives, which I pretty much tell him that these chakra knives are pretty much indestructible and it can pretty much cut through everything. And it will also be good for your flying Raijin training, which your father's going to teach you. Well, going to try to teach you. Which Naruto says, what? Flying Raijin? Which I pretty much says, yeah. And I disappear. Now, this is part one of What If. Well, not really What If. This is part one of the Bizarre mix. Or this Bizarre part one. If you like, leave a like, do all that. Let's just get this up to whatever likes. But I'm Keisha. Thanks for watching and peace out.
It looks like you lost another one.